I feel in doing this now, there's more of a legacy that I can share with my kids. Say, your dad had a podcast one time, and he had a YouTube video at one time, and I'm making a joke of this, but I'm being honest. I just you just touched something when you said that the fact that we're trying these things is allowing us to share what we've done in the past.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, Shawn, how you doing, man? How you feel?
Doing good, doing good, brother. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I'm excited to talk to you again today. Just it started the new year, fresh start of new opportunities, uh, and definitely a chance to reflect on how different 2020 was, and just kind of a resurgence or a sentiment of trying something new
Yeah.
that started last year and definitely continues with a lot more energy and passion in 2021.
Yeah, well said. I mean, there are some things that I wouldn't think I would have tried if it wasn't for what we encountered in 2020. So, yeah, there's certainly some new things that I did. There's some things I try to keep the same normalcy. But yeah, I'm interested to know what new things you did, and I'll share some of mine as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so in the whole spirit of trying something new, and this journey really started for me last year. Uh, it it started first with just by how I managed my time in a day.
Okay.
And some of the things I incorporated was power yoga. So I start off every morning with yoga workout,
Nice.
which gives me that sense of inner peace and increasing my strength. Especially because I get older, the bones are not as strong as they used to be. So
The
maintaining
flexibility is not there, right?
exactly. And power yoga in particular, has been a beautiful hybrid. Uh,
Right.
Boho Beautiful actually is the the platform that I use. They offer an
Nice.
amazing service and a lot of really good videos to do from
Nice.
home.
Nice.
Um, in parallel to that, my prayer life, just making sure that I start off every morning with opportunity for meditation
Hmm.
and to center myself, be it to just refresh my strength for the day to encounter anything that's going to happen, and the confidence to get through anything that will happen in the course of a day.
Right.
Um, Parallel to that has been my just increasing my social media presence online, be
Mhm.
it through videos, the podcasting series, this one that we've started together, um, and just pushing my services online, in addition to in person, but a lot more online. Just kind of came naturally as a result of the pandemic. And I've always been a fan of investment and stock trading, and looking at companies and really going after companies that are offering a value or a service that will benefit society going forward. I've refocused my perspective on investment and trading to center around things that I believe in, like clean energy for one.
Nice.
Um, yeah, so it's definitely changed. There's definitely new things that I've started last year in the spirit
Mhm.
of trying something new,
Mhm.
and stuff that I definitely want to continue into this year and beyond. What about yourself?
Um, there's some similarities that you have there, and there's some things that I was doing before. So I'll talk about some of the things that I was trying to, I guess, keep the normalcy, like try to normalize so that it wasn't too different as we were experiencing the COVID pandemic, particularly during the lockdown. So the whole aspect of getting up, going to bed and getting up, that still's the same for me. I pretty much go to bed around 10 o'clock and wake up anywhere from 5 to 6 o'clock. So I try to keep that normal so my body rhythm and schedule is not too far off. Um, with respect to praying, so I always read the Bible first thing in the morning, And so I try to keep that the same as well prior to the pandemic. And I was always a workout in the early in the morning. Previous life, I used to work out in the evening, but I'd stay up way too late in doing that. So now I wake up in the morning and do that. There are some changes I made, like because I can't go to the gym. I bought the TRX bands, which I'm really keen on. I really like that. It stretches out the muscles much more than I expected. So I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, so those are my normal steps that I kept in place before I start a work day. Where there is stuff that is new, like the whole podcast aspect of it, it's launching a stronger social presence. So thank you again for encouraging this old dog to learn new tricks, because I knew nothing about YouTube videos or podcasts, except for me just consuming them. I've never thought I would make these type of videos. And so what's new for me is learning how to I guess articulate our thoughts, work out a method to have these type of videos and share with those, read comments, and then say, okay, that's going to go to the next video. Even webinars. Again, and thank you for encouragement. I'm also doing a seminar and a webinar to explain some of the tactics that I use, my methodology. I don't think I would have done that at least this year, 2020, if it wasn't for the pandemic. So those are some new activities that I certainly embraced, and I really enjoy doing it. Now I won't stop. I just really like doing that. So I think that's where we're very similar. It's some of those new tactics in expressing and sharing ourselves online.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And that's awesome, brother. I'm really happy for your future. And just all these things just build on our, that enable us to get to the end of our life and say, look at the history of things and precedents and practices that I've done to enjoy life and maintain balance and grow as an individual. So
yeah, it's great that you said that, because I remember as a child, because my dad is an engineer, we would drive and he would point to certain aspects where he worked. He worked in Hamilton at one time in the steel sector, and he would build these huge monuments that are being used within assembly lines, and he would take pictures and show me and say, well, this is what I've done. So there's legacy. And the most I can show my kids is, well, see that click and collect concept? I helped design that. That's my legacy. But I feel in doing this now, there's more of a legacy that I can share with my kids. Say, your dad had a podcast at one time, and he had a YouTube video at one time, and I'm making a joke of this, but I'm being honest. You just touched something when you said that the fact that we're trying these things is allowing us to share what we've done in the past. It's really quite cool.
one of the other pieces that I wanted to talk about today, and for the benefit of our viewers, and the question really out there, is why is this the ideal time to try something new? Definitely comment in the box below. But wanted to share my thoughts on why this is a new time, an ideal time to try something new. And it all centers on one key statement, that time waits for no one.
Right.
Regardless of what happens in our home life, in the economy, in the world, within our countries, time doesn't wait for anybody. Time just keeps moving through all of the ups and downs and flows that we encounter on a daily basis. And this past year in particular has been some ups, but definitely some challenges as well. Like I lost several people that were near and dear to my heart, be it both family and friends. And thankfully, I was fortunate to visit and spend some time prior to the pandemic with those who I knew was coming to that time. And I will value that for the rest of my life. And then there are others that I just didn't see coming, and then it was a surprise, impacted by COVID or COVID related kind of symptoms that caused them to pass before their time. And there's does definitely created some challenges for me, and it just had me reflect further. I wish I had a chance to reach out to them and let them know how special they were to me. I wish I had a chance to, I worry about their kids and their families, and what will they do? What will the people that they've left behind do going forward? And just how it just really centers for me how precious time is, and that it waits for no one. And that's really inspired my path last year that I started about trying something new. And it's just reinforced coming into 2021 that how precious our time is, and living every day to its fullest capacity.
Yeah, Shawn, well said. I don't think we've sort of talked about our personal challenges that we faced. I was aware that you mentioned about your loved ones passed away. Me too. So I've had 2020, four loved ones passed away, and one particular individual very, very close to me is my uncle, and he passed unfortunately due to COVID. In the early stage of COVID, this was a period where we were just trying to understand what it was. And you're right with time. With respect to time, it made you realize time was precious. So in this case, I was very, very blessed and fortunate to spend some time with him prior to him passing away. That was before we knew about this deadly disease. He was diagnosed with it, and in those times I couldn't visit the hospital. We can only see each other on the screen, and then he eventually passed away. And that did a couple things for me with respect to time. I had to actually manage his funeral, so trying to run a funeral where only 5 people can be in the funeral home. So I was there and had to virtually present his funeral to all the family abroad, like here in Canada and Jamaica, England, and US. And what it did from a time perspective is it amplified spending time with others. So everyone was able to attend that funeral, and then we were able to virtually connect with each other. And it made it so that we put a standard that we have to spend more time, dedicated periods where we call each other. Holidays passed, and we had one big giant virtual holiday session with all families get together. So it made us realize that spending time with each other is really, really critical. The second thing that it also made me realize with time is the opposite, is to slow down. That's why I was really keen on keeping some normalcy, some time to myself, and also recognize that I was at a very rush pace. I have to admit, I'm still at a very rush pace. It's just within my nature to be go, go, go. But it did let me recognize to slow down. If there's 24 hours in the day, how much time are you dedicating towards yourself? So yeah, and I'm glad you shared that. Some painful memories for me as well. And then shortly after he passed away, I had other family members passed away too. So it was a difficult year, but certainly time was something that I noted to spend more time and to slow down time at the same time. Does that make sense? A little bit emotional, but I'm not sure if I can explain that any better than that.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense, brother. I totally understand. Um, for me, and kind of some closing thoughts on it, were when we're talking about time and trying something new, um, the closing feelings that I have are just to use this time to not only try something new, but when I say new, I'm referring to value. So do things that create value for you personally. Do things that whether that be a change in career, change in job, or just how our outlook on life. Do things that create value for you and your own well-being. Do things that create value to the community, and help serve people in their growth and their benefit. And finally, do things that bring value to humanity as a whole. I think they have an indefinite life going forward. And if anything, we've that kind of gained from this past year is that the things that have value will carry through the test of time. And yeah, that's yeah. I definitely love to hear everybody's comments and put them in the comments below. But yeah, it's an exciting future ahead, that for sure.
It is. It is. I think what you said, to do things that has value, in essence, that's a great measurement of time. It's well said. I would like to hear from others. What have they done that is a representation of something of value? What have they done for themselves, others? Even what have they learned from 2020 and what they're prepared to do for 2021? I would love to hear more and more about that stuff as well.
Right on. Okay, cool.
Okay,
So,
man.
to our listeners out there and to Call, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you too, man.
Let's go get it. 2021, trying something new. See you on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.